How's it going? Caitlin here, and welcome to my kitchen. So we are prepping for another week, right? Prep day is not essential, but you are gonna save yourself so much time, so much energy when it matters most. And honestly, this is my favorite thing about prep day. You're gonna save yourself so many dishes. Because every time that you have to get more stuff out and cut it, that's more dishes. If you do that every day, you're doing those dishes every day. Just do them this one day, then it's out of the way, okay? So I've got a prep list there for you, suggested with things you could add to it, you could remove from it, but I do have it set in a few different levels. So you can kind of choose your motivation level, because it can change based on the day. And just because it's a Sunday doesn't mean that you have not had a busy weekend. I respect that, I appreciate that. And maybe your prep day isn't even Sunday. Could be a completely different day. I respect that too. So for this week, which we're having, let's see, Chicken Caesar Skillet, and, well, let me wear this. Sorry about that. Okay, so Chicken Caesar Salad Skillet. We're having a good old-fashioned Taco Tuesday this week. We're having sheet pan chicken and root vegetables. We're having a vegan black bean soup, which I promise, even if you're not a vegan, you're going to enjoy. It's really good. It's really filling. And then we're gonna end the week with ultimate peppercorn burgers, unless of course you are a vegan, then sorry, I don't really know how you found this meal plan, but there's gonna be a lot of modifying for you. Just kidding, kind of. Okay, so level 1 prep is chopping an onion and grating some Parmesan cheese. If you bought yourself already grated Parmesan cheese instead of, you know, the other stuff, you're already a step ahead of the game. And if that's as much as you signed on for, chopping an onion, good job. You chopped an onion, and you know what? You saved yourself from chopping an onion a little later on, and I am so proud of you. You can just turn off the video now, but if you're ready and motivated and good to go, then we can just keep on going. So, oh, and this is my prep board, by the way. You don't have to be envious of my prep board. You could have one too. I love it because I got a place to put my garbage, and I got a place to put my good stuff, but I don't get them confused and they don't migrate all over my countertop, because otherwise they will. It's just, I know myself, I know what I'm going to do, and I know my stuff is going to migrate, and I'm going to make a huge mess of it all. So this actually, this board saves me a lot of cleanup, and saving cleanup is something that I really like doing. I like having the products that can go in the dishwasher to save me the energy, because I don't always have it. Okay, grating up some Parmesan cheese. So we need about half a cup. This is going to be for the Chicken Caesar Salad Skillet. I'm really excited about this one. Looks awesome. Like, if you can combine two of the best things, Caesar salad and pasta, and just marry it all together and call it a meal, like, hello, all over that one. It's been funny. I've been thinking a lot today. I ran across a reel and that was talking about how everybody has that one friend who pretends that they can't have gluten just so they can be cool. And I thought, who are these people that are just pretending they can't have gluten because they want to be cool? It was talking about people like eating Oreos and then pretending to be gluten-free at other points, and just when they went to restaurants, and like, who wants to like pay twice as much for crappy food? Yeah, that'll be about half a cup. I mean, if you want to grate some extra Parmesan while you're there, just to throw over top of some other things, throughout the week, go ahead. You're already there. You already get the grater out. I'm gonna put this in another one of these little prep bowls here so that I have it for the week. Oh, I guess I may as well take the rest that's on there too, eh? Can't be wasting perfectly good stinky cheese. And I had put a prep mat down on top of my prep board because me and dairy do not get along. But I will use it in the recipes for the rest of the family. So I will usually prep most of the meal, and then I will take out my portion and then add the cheese to the rest of theirs, and it tends to work out. Haven't really had any complaints yet. Not that I know who's gonna complain to me. All right, if you're still with me and you're ready for level 2, I'm gonna cube up bread. This is for the Chicken Caesar Salad Skillet as well, for doing up croutons. If you want to just buy some croutons, you can certainly just buy some croutons. However, being able to control what is going into your food is one of the nicer things about being able to prep for it. And the recipe gives some instructions for making these croutons in the microwave. Honestly, I just make my croutons in the air fryer and I throw them in for about 5 minutes after throwing the oil and stuff on them. And they turn out great. So I'm just not messing with something that I know is not broken. So there we go. My bread's cubed. So my croutons are already started. Okay, now I'm going to cut up the lettuce for the week. Now it calls for 2 romaine hearts. I just bought a 3-pack of romaine hearts instead. And I figured I would just chop them all up now, and that way I have them for if I'm making sandwiches through the week or I'm doing side salads or anything like that, then I know I already have it there. So I'm just gonna use it for the dinner it's meant for, and then ready-made snacks. I find I'm way more likely to have a salad if I have my lettuce ready. If I have to wash it and cut it and do all the things, the more things I gotta do, the more I just lose the motivation to do. So, and yeah, I'm just cutting this with a bread knife too, because why not? This is also going to be a nice topping for tacos. It's going to be good for burgers at the end of the week. Like, you're going to use this lettuce, just may as well just chop it all now. Especially if you bought a 3-pack like I did, because, well, then I chop 2, might as well chop 3. This is a love yourself later exercise. And it's one of those things, it's funny, it doesn't take as much time as you think it's going to once you actually like get around to the doing. You know those things where it's just like, before you start it, you're like, oh, it's gonna take forever. And then you get in and you're like, no, I survived. I could do that again. We are thriving, my friends. All right, one more of these bad boys. Am I chopping it perfect? Mm-mm. Is it good enough? And I'm great with good enough. I'm thinking, oh, I might have to do some wraps for lunch. I think after taco night, I think I'm gonna double the taco meat, pick up some wraps, and make like cold taco wraps or something the next day. I think that sounds delicious. Okay, so I cube the bread, I chop the lettuce. My family, we're just gonna be having some, they're probably gonna have some cheese, probably get some ready shredded cheese. already in the fridge for them. We're gonna do salsa and sour cream. We're gonna have that lettuce. So that's our taco toppings, pretty well taken care of there too. Now if you're extra super motivated, like we've only been at this for 10 minutes. We already got like so much stuff done already. And that's kind of amazing, isn't it? We're gonna go into super prep mode now for extra credit, okay? So I'm going to get prepped for the vegan black bean soup, okay? So let's see what we need for that. We need a pepper, we need an onion, here we go, onion, and need a couple garlic cloves and 1 jalapeno. So I've got all these and just gonna chunk them up real rough, nothing special. For the pepper, you know, make sure that you have all your stuff washed beforehand, before you're even starting this prep thing, because otherwise it's just really gross. Like if you didn't, this time you're probably gonna survive, but just like next time, wash your veggies. Okay. So I like to cut my pepper from the bottom and I just follow the lines, and then the sides, they just kind of pull right off, and there's very little cleanup to do with seeds. That's my personal preference for doing it. And I'm just gonna cut this into rough chunks because we're going to be using the immersion blender on this soup anyway. So it doesn't have to be any precision. It can be very, very, very quick prep with this. Same thing with the onion. It's just going to be chunked. Go. Now, my hands a quick dry right there. 2 cloves of garlic. Nothing needs to be fancy with these because it's all going in an immersion blender. I can feel the skepticism on the soup. I feel like there's gonna be 2 feelings for that soup going into it. It's either gonna be skepticism or it's gonna be excitement. And just join the excitement group because it's good, I promise. The one thing with the soup is like, the first time I made it, I thought it's like a homemade salsa kinda that goes on it. And, well, that sounds really like simple and hokey. Like, I don't need to do that. But I would never do it without it. Because you know what? It's really, 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 really good. And it just took a couple seconds to throw together while the soup was cooking. So it was no skin off my back. Like, it was great. Okay, now we've got jalapeno. So, to make sure I don't touch my eyes after. We're seeding it. We're taking the seeds out of this son of a gun. We don't really need like a ton of heat. We just need the flavor. Here we go. Eyes after. It's definitely something I would do, especially when I'm on a video. Okay, so there we go. got the vegetables prepped for the soup. So that'll be so easy that evening, just coming in, throwing those in to fry those up a little bit before adding the beans and whatnot. Like, that's gonna be so easy. You're not gonna need the motivation when you get back from work, which is nice. If you are still motivated to do a little more, I'm actually gonna chop the root vegetables for my sheet pan dinner. I'm not gonna chop everything for the sheet pan dinner, but I am gonna chop the root vegetables because I can just put them in water, right? So I'm gonna chop these, throw them in water, and then when I go to do my sheet pan dinner, it's gonna be like even easier than a regular sheet pan dinner because I'm just gonna dump the water, toss in some oil and some seasonings and give her a shake and dump her on a pan. So I had some parsnip, carrot, and celery in the fridge, and these are gonna be going with potatoes. So just, you know, simple veggies, but effective, not hard to find this time of the year. Probably got them in your fridge, some of them. Great way to use up some of your vegetables if they're starting to go a little on the funky side, which I will mention that today for prep day, another thing I like doing this day is I like looking through the fridge and just seeing what do I have in here that needs to be used in the next week, and then what could I throw it in, because there's a lot of dishes that you can sneak things into. If you finally chop up veggies, you can sneak them into just about anything. You can sneak them into those tacos. Your family's never going to know the difference. You could sneak more vegetables into your vegan black bean soup. You're never going to know. I got to dump my waste pile here. So this is the day of the week to look at and be like, okay, can I use this in one of these recipes this week? Can I use it in a lunch somehow? Or should I put it in the freezer and use it later? Okay? That's like extra super duper extra credit right there. So all these veggies are just going to be very roughly chopped. And you could choose like more, I don't want to say delicate vegetables or vegetables that take less cook time to go with your sheet pan dinner. But you may just want to cook your chicken for a little bit first so that you don't end up with like, you know, a bunch of burnt vegetables. And then chicken, because that just doesn't sound that good. But if I put these root vegetables on the same time as I put my chicken, then I just don't really have to worry about it. It's kind of just works itself out in cook time. So this celery is starting to go a little wobbly, which very soon, actually probably after this, the rest of it's just going to be going in the freezer, and I like to save it for making broth with. So the celery never goes to waste. All right, chop up some potatoes. That's a funny looking piece of potato. It's the time of year, eh? The time of year where it's like your potatoes either look great or they look great on the outside, and you open them up and you're like, so just check them out before I, you know, throw them in with the rest of the stuff. No harm. And I'm never worried with these sheet pan dinners. Like, worst case scenario, if I end up like cutting up too many vegetables, my chicken doesn't fit on the sheet pan, I'll just throw my chicken on the sheet pan or throw it in the air fryer. Like, you can't really go wrong. Unless you only have one sheet pan, I guess. But even then, you can like literally just put the chicken on top of it and I think it would be fine. So I'm using about 2 pounds of potatoes because I don't mind if there's leftovers. If you wanted to use sweet potato or something instead, you could certainly use sweet potato. It's gonna turn out fine, it's gonna be delicious. Everybody's gonna love it and nobody's gonna complain. Oops. And since these are all root veggies, I'm just gonna be able to cover the whole thing in water and they're gonna be good for the week. If I was doing peppers or something like that, I could prep them right now, but I'd rather put them into one of these containers. Root veggies, great stored in water, so I know that I can do them that way and I feel safe doing it that way. So that's just what I'm doing. Okay, so just gonna throw some water in with those, put that in the fridge, and I'm good to go for my sheet pan dinner. Like, there's going to be so little work to actually do this week. You're gonna be so impressed. If you are still feeling motivated, if you're like, well, I'm here now. Last thing that I could think of that we could do for extra credit for meal prepping for the week was to actually prep these croutons. Because what are they gonna do? Get drier? Like, they're gonna be fine. Actually, no, I had another thing we could do. I mean, if you wanted to. It's all up to you at this point. You can throw any kind of oil you want. You can throw oil and maybe crush a garlic clove in there. I'm gonna use garlic infused oil for me. That does the trick, so just toss a little bit of that in there. Then I'm gonna throw a little bit of parsley because I think croutons look nice if they have a little bit of a green color on them. And I'm just gonna toss in some salt and some pepper. And that's it. Just gonna do this little toss around in there. If you wanted to, you could use that crushed peppercorn and garlic seasoning in these if you have that. It's a delicious seasoning. That's like one of our absolute must-haves in this house. Probably one of the first spices that I tried from Pampered Chef. And I fell absolutely in love with it. Okay. So, I wasn't sure if these would all fit on one tray, if they'd go on 2 trays. You know what, I'm gonna just go with that. They don't have to be perfection. They're croutons. I'm air frying those for 5 minutes, then my croutons are gonna be ready. They're gonna be good to go for the week. Okay, so then when I'm prepping my meal tomorrow, just gonna be chucking all that together. The very last thing, since we're just using the chicken tomorrow, already got all my stuff out, I'm gonna dice my chicken for tomorrow. Now, you could do this tomorrow instead. I'm doing it as my very last thing, because then my prep board is gonna be like all chickeny and stuff. Now, as a rule of thumb, I usually consider one chicken breast to be approximately 1/2 pound, but these ones are huge. So I'm actually gonna hope my husband doesn't watch this because he'll think that I'm shorting him chicken. But there's just over 2 pounds of chicken in this container. And I'm gonna throw one back in, and then I'm gonna freeze the other half of that batch because, ooh, don't wanna touch that. Okay, so I'm just dicing this chicken. You could cut it in slices if you wanted to. Like, really, there's no hard and fast rule, unless of course you're doing baby-led weaning or something like that. You want to make sure you have your chicken in strips. Cut it in strips, no big deal. Recipe calls for diced. You can be as rebellious as you want to with any of this. Okay? That's my beep, 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 letting me know that my croutons are already half done. I can smell them cooking, they smell really good. That garlic oil is honestly boss. It's so good. If I can find any excuse to add it in something, I probably will. Well, I mean something that actually would do good too. I wouldn't want to put in something that it wouldn't. All right, I'm curious to know if anybody actually stuck with me till the end of this. Did anybody do all of their prep for the week? Or maybe you finished before I even did. Who knows? I never once claimed to be professional. There we go. But I gotta say, it does feel so good when this prep work is done and there's something about it where you just feel like you have more of a handle on the week ahead when you have this done. It's just one less thing because goodness knows there's enough things on your to-do list already. Like, you don't need another one. There we go. My chicken's all done up. I'm gonna throw it in a container. And then I'm going to throw all of this stuff in the dishwasher and call it a day. So excited to hear what you guys think of the recipes this week. I'd love to hear how meal planning is maybe saving you guys a little bit of time, energy, stress, waste, any of the things. I'd love to hear it. I'm gonna put this away and I will see you guys next week. Enjoy!